Hi there, I'm Lee and welcome to iMineBlocks. Hope you guys are doing great with your mining activities and crypto in general. I know it's still a bit of a bear market. When I say a bit of a bear market, it's horrendous out there. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to be showing you what I'm doing with this little Android box. So about a week ago, I showed you mining on this Android TV box, but one of the problems that I had with it was that it was overheating. So I ordered two little of these DC fans. I've actually got one here. This is what was the first one to arrive. So it's a 4cm 5V DC fan. So I'm going to be fitting this to this device with the integrated heatsink that's already on there. And hopefully I can try and keep the Android box a little bit cooler. Previously it was running over 80 degrees, which is obviously not sustainable for a small mining box like this. So with this little mini fan, hopefully we can get it up and running, get it running nice and cool and get the best performance out of this device. So that's all what's going on in this video. It's a bit more hands-on practical kind of a video. And yes, I'll just be showing you what's going on with this. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's get started. We've got our Android box here, and fair warning, I'm recording at a bit of a weird angle. Also, this table is a little bit wobbly as well, so there might be a bit of camera wobble. I'm sorry, I'll try and do the best I can. So we've got our Android box and we've got the fan that we're going to be fitting into it here. So let's open up the Android box itself first. So it's quite easy to get into. You just need to remove these rubber feet. In this case, it actually only has two with screws. So I'm just going to remove these screw covers off. Just kind of dig those out. So this one's only got two screws. The other ones are just the rubber feet are there, but it doesn't have any extra screws. We'll just remove these screws. So that's all the screws on the casing. We can get this casing off now. So I've already been into it once, and kind of the best was to kind of pry it on this outside edge of this kind of screw edge along here. So just trying to get in there a little bit, and then it should kind of pop out. Okay, I think that's it. So it just kind of releases that outside edge and give it a bit of a tug. Be careful if you've got something similar, because sometimes you'll have like Wi-Fi antennas and stuff connected to the outside of the case. So just be wary of that. Okay, so with a bit of a wiggling, it comes undone. So I'll just put the base to the side. So now we have the internals of the Android box. So the main PCB is just held in with another 4 small screws. Try not to touch that reset button. So you can see in this case we've got like a Wi-Fi antenna connected to the top of the case. So I'm just going to gently pry that up with fingernails. Okay, so this is one thing that I thought was quite interesting. So with the top of the case, it's actually got quite a bit of weight to it, but it's only got that weight because it's got this huge, great big slab of metal in there. It's not a heat sink. It doesn't provide any functional purpose. Its only purpose is just to weigh the whole box down. So I thought that was kind of humorous. So here's our main PCB, the single board computer. So this is the internal guts of the Android TV box. So you can see it's all on basically one single board. Around the outside edges we've got a USB ports, a power connector, HDMI, Ethernet, and there's also, I think it's like an audio out jack, and there's also a micro SD slot reader, infrared power button. On the reverse side, not an awful lot going on. So this is what we're working with. So one of the problems that we had was that the device was overheating, and it's because it's got this really small heatsink under there. I can't see the chip size itself, but I don't think this particular heatsink is very much bigger than the chip size itself. One other problem was it is very well stuck down, but I don't know what they've used to connect the heatsink to the chip itself. I think it's probably just some sort of double-sided adhesive or something, but I didn't want to really pry it up to kind of get a better look at it, because to be honest, I thought the chip might come off at the same time. You can sometimes like twist and release the heat sinks or apply a little bit of heat to get it off, but it just seemed a bit too tight. So rather than remove it, I thought we'll just add this fan. So kind of for comparison, we've got the heatsink and then we've got our fan. So you can see the fan is quite a bit bigger. I did also order a smaller fan as well, which I think was 2.5 centimeters. This is a 4 centimeter fan. So the smaller fan would be a bit better in terms of integration. But like I say, this one was the first to arrive, so that's the one that we're going to be going with. In terms of connections, the way I'm going to wire this fan is that sometimes on these single board computers or like the Raspberry Pis and stuff, sometimes you'll actually have like a fan header, but that's not the case on this one, at least not obviously. So what I plan to do is just kind of wire it to the USB port. So the USB port has a 5-volt connector. And the amperage is roughly around the same as what the fan requires. So I'm going to wire it to the USB port, and that should give us power for our fan, as well as keeping everything tidy. So I'm going to get the soldering iron out now, and then we're going to wire our fan to the USB port. Okay, so let's solder these terminals on. I did already have one go actually, but I think I got the polarity backwards. So just trying again. Okay, and that's the other one. Okay, so our fan is wired on to the USB port. You can see there. Just I rearranged the wiring to run outside, so it goes kind of out around this corner. And then we've got our fan. So I'm not too sure on the mounting of the fan exactly. I'll probably just leave it loose for the time being and work out something a little bit better later on. But now I'm just going to re-plug it back in. I'm just going to leave it loose out of the case, just kind of sit the fan on top and just run the miner and just see whether it is any cooler or not. Okay, so I've got the Android box all plugged in. The fan is just kind of perched on top. You can hear a bit of vibration from it. It really does obviously need some kind of mounting, but it is on there and it is working, so that's good. So I've just started up the miner. You can see it's just got the first sort of hashing reports, and it's 345 hashes per minute. So now I'm going to check on the hardware monitor and see what the CPU is reporting temperature-wise. Okay, so the miner's been running for a few minutes now, and it's actually looking really good. So the temperature you see in the top left-hand corner is now running at 51 degrees. So that's like 30 degrees less than it was before. So that's a significant improvement. Previously it was over 80 degrees Celsius. You'll also see the other sort of bars further down the bottom. You can see all these bars here. So these are all the CPU cores. Previously the CPU cores were throttling down from 1512, and those going down below 1000. Obviously when they get throttled because it's too hot, you're going to reduce your performance. So taking a look back now at the, you should be able to see the miner using ConnectBot. And just need to wait for a couple more updates really. So just showing you what I've just been tinkering kind of within the background. So I'm now getting 377 hashes per minute. It's still not quite my target number. I know that other people have got around about 500 hashes on similar hardware, so that's kind of really where I'd like to be. So at the moment I'm just trying to figure out these using huge pages, but the settings are not quite applying as I expected. So, but I just wanted to share kind of what was going on in the background and let you know what the current performance is with this piece of hardware. See what you guys are getting. Let me know in the comments. So just to show you, because I think it's kind of funny, the things that you kind of discover. So obviously I've shut the Android box down. You can see it's off, but the fan is still running. Obviously still being powered by the USB port. So I'm going to need to work out some sort of switching kind of implementation for that. Okay, so I'm just about finishing up for this video here. So we've got the Android with the fan on. So just kind of figuring out how I might mount it in the future. At the moment, I'll probably just leave it loose just for a bit more testing and configuration, getting the setup, get the best performance out of this device first. But then in the future, I'll probably gonna have to cut a probably a big square hole in the center, and then maybe on the sides without any ports, maybe on this side here, probably just some vent holes. Obviously removing that big metal plate out of there as well. And that'll give us enough airflow for cooling this device, but I'll probably save that, just do a mini update in the future. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, give it a like. If you want to see more of this kind of content, then I don't know, subscribe or something maybe. And if you've got anything you want to add, want to see in the future, or anything you was unsure of, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and suggestions on all of these kind of videos. And I do read all of the comments, and I often respond to most of you guys as well. So thanks very much again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.